up to you guys. Ask me questions, whatever you want to do.
This has been a years-long court case. It's wrapped up now. Can you tell me how you and your family is feeling today?
Well, some sort of relief. With what we've learned the last few weeks, we have learned that this is not going to end anytime soon. We're in our mid-50s. We don't want to be fighting this into our 60s. And then with things that came to light with her medical issues, more than likely it wasn't going to come out to the death. So why keep prolonging what's going on with our family, with people's money? You know, the taxpayers are paying for this. Why keep doing it if we're not going to get nowhere? So that's, and how's it affected family? There's no words. Not even close. What can we do about it? Watch your families. Watch their backs. She was just trying to get some things to help them get by. She was put in a situation that who's going to think that kind of thing is going to happen? You're not. So you've got to be aware ahead of time. Don't be putting your spouse out there or your loved one or whoever to try to get something for free when it's putting them in the most vulnerable position that they can be in. So, anything else?
Did you want to hear Amber Waterman expressing her remorse?
You know, thought about that. She could have said, "I'm so sorry," and cut it off with that. Not a word. Not a knowledge, not anything. So that's about all I can say about that.
I'm sure this isn't the ending that you guys wanted.
Well, of course not.
Settling.
Why am I settling with it?
How is it settling on your heart that this is the ending that you didn't expect, that you didn't want?
Well, it's hard to express that because, yes, I wanted to happen to her what she gave our daughter and our granddaughter no choice. She shouldn't have got a choice whether to save her life or not. But I watch her and I watch them, and we can't keep putting ourselves through this. It's been 3 years and 4 months, and there's no end in sight. We're talking 5-6 more years minimum. And then what do we get out of it? So there's not going to be any ending for our pain and suffering that we've been going through. We're just trying to stop it now. We've got another grandbaby on the way. We've just had a grandbaby, and it's time to look forward to them and remember all the good stuff that has happened and the memories that actually she was a mess when she was young. Bobbling little curly-headed girl running everywhere like you wouldn't believe. I've got videos of it, but anyways. Just trying to move forward now. I haven't spoken with anybody since day one because they asked us not to. We didn't want to jeopardize anything that could come about in the cases. So
you guys kind of extended a beautiful message of grace, but it felt, this isn't what we want to give you, but we are going to give it to you because that's what you have to do to have peace. Where are you at with the process of dealing with this?
Well, first of all, I want everybody to know we did not give up. During this process, how do you prepare for it? You can't prepare for it. So you learn as you go. And the first couple of years, we couldn't even talk about it without losing it. So we just move on from there. So rephrase again for me?
I was just saying, like, how did you guys what sustained you? What got you to that conclusion that that was the message that you wanted to share today?
Go ahead.
Our family, I mentioned it in court today, but over the last 1,192 days, our family has spent countless hours within court proceedings, and double that has been spent in prayer and being prayed for a community who has embraced us and hurts alongside us. And as my uncle said, this is how we take back some authority, and we don't give up on Ashley by doing this. We know that this is what she would want for our family, to have peace and healing moving forward. And like he said, there's no way to prepare, but we have to move on at some point. And to continue reliving this over and over and over is just hindering our family more than it's doing any good.
I learned that part of the agreement was Waterman meeting with prosecutors and investigators to talk, about those details that were missing. Did you find any closure in any of that information that came about?
So if I can, they have not even seen, had a copy of that. I've gone over some of the highlights. So they have not yet had the opportunity to fully digest that stuff.
We do believe that in being provided the answers that we seek, we will have some justice that her silence couldn't have given us. So we're grateful for the prosecutor's office for receiving a statement from her, and we're anxious to hear what's been said.
You all mentioned in your statements that something that can never be taken away are the memories that you will have about Ashley. What do you want the community to know about
I don't know how to say specifics, because you're talking about kids from when they're born until they're in their 30s having their own kids. She brought us joy every time she came around. Silly, goofy, whatever. Going on vacations. My wife, my other daughter, her singing as loud as they can, totally off key. But we were singing, going down the road, going camping or to the lake or whatever we're doing, and just memories like that. Jumping into the ocean and freezing. And it's like, yes, Ashley, it's December. So, but there's just so many things that I could say. She was really carefree. She jumped off the boat. She didn't know what, it's like, Ashley, did we check the depth yet? It's just, she was just a carefree kid. And she grew up into a mom that was all about her kids, Don't matter if they were making Christmas decorations or if they were getting ready to go trick-or-treating or cheese dip all over their faces, whatever it was, she took care of their needs. So.
I think Lainey said it best in her statement, just thinking that Ashley would be proud of your guys' efforts through all of this. Is there anything else that you'd like her to know?
Like her to know?
Yeah.
Ashley? She knows that we love her. She's at home. In our living room, in a box with a little red bird on top of it. She almost came with us, but I didn't know if they would let her in. But we haven't had the heart to put her to rest. That kind of rest. She's at rest in our living room. So, next question.
Judge Karen offered some words to you guys at the end of the hearing today. Can you tell me if that, it's been a long process, you've worked with prosecutors here. Can you just tell me your experience hearing those words from a judge and working with
prosecutors here, but
About closure,
yeah, in the healing process, and just hearing that from a judge, if that meant anything to you.
time, go ahead. Time is the biggest healer. I mean, just, you can see us still get emotional, so you can imagine trying to talk about it 3 years ago, there's no way. But you have to move forward for the littles, all of her babies, we call them littles. But healing the wounds, healing, I don't know, it's just something you live with day by day. You wake up and you go on. You got other family member that depends on you. You got other babies to teach, hopefully, what you know. Yeah, just keep moving forward. I think the things he said were good. A lot of it, I think, reiterated what some of the family said. So. Anybody else?
Mr. Robinson here read a lot of y'all's statements today because you said it was too painful to stand in front of her and read those. So what gives you the strength right now to talk about this case and about her?
Ashley, we wanted to make sure, we could have went on and not say anything, but we wanted to make sure that the public knows we loved our daughter, without a doubt. And we've had so much family stand behind us, our community, literally. You know, we live in a little town here close, and they've been behind us 100%, let alone Josh and his crew. They've all been, anytime we've had any questions, they've done an outstanding job keeping us informed. Anything else? This is your chance. We've kept y'all in the dark.
I guess, and you mentioned it today in court, being such a lengthy process, now that at least this chapter on it is closed, obviously, you know, the healing process, like you said, time is the only thing that can heal. But does this feel like a weight almost off your back, moving forward, looking at what's next?
She said peace. We needed some peace. And yes, it feels like this is a step that we needed to take to move forward. And to live the rest of our lives with Ashley as a remembrance of good things, not waking up, flipping on your phone, the first thing you see is Amber's face. Pretty much the last face we want to see. As far as what I wish for Amber, that's between her and God. And I'm not going to make that decision. So hopefully she can work it out with him before her day comes. So I just kind of threw that one in there on you. But that's kind of how we felt, and that's kind of how we came to this conclusion. The reason we proceeded with this in the first place is because, like I said, she didn't give Ashley a chance to have a choice to live or die. She didn't give a chance for Valkyrie to have the choice to live or die. So we didn't think she should have the choice. But that was 3.5 years ago, and almost 3.5 years ago. And we're not. We've already fought one case, and it's almost like starting all the way over again from scratch. And then, like I said, her health things have came up, and times have changed a little bit with administrations. Things are different, so why fight it till we're 60, 70 years old? I mean, and like I said,
And we got to make that decision,
yes,
so that we took control.
we
of
did
that.
make a decision for her. So,
You guys have already lived through this case once. To do it all over again, had that been the case, what would that have been like for you guys?
listening to every individual detail going through trial for weeks is what it would have went. We were prepared for that before. We still were, but it was supposed to be in April. Then in the courtroom, he said it literally would have been 2 or 3 more years before the trial would have ever even came to the court system, and then several more years for it to ever, probably for appeals and what have you to go through, it would have just kept going with no end in sight. So to bring peace for our whole family and for her kids, I think this was the right decision for us to make.
How important is it for y'all that, you know, there was this tragedy, but you guys stayed together as a unit? How did this bring you guys together?
Can't get much closer than waking up in the morning and crying together, can you? Stepping apart was never an issue. If anything, we just depend on each other. So we laugh together, we cry together, and you know, for the first couple of years, it was not easy. You know, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you hear is your wife crying. And anyways, this exactly is why we're moving forward. It's time to quit reliving this.
From the first time that you saw Amber in the court to today, did it get any easier?
No.
No. I'm going to be nice and say no. It did not get any easier. And no remorsefulness, expression, no sign of I made a bad decision, or you know, no head down. I mean, she tried to sound pitiful, I think, in my opinion. When the judge would answer a question, she kind of put her head down, and it takes a bold person to reach over and shoot somebody and then rip their baby out. Not the little timid person she's trying to portray it now. Sorry if I went off on that, but that's, you know, no, seeing Amber is not easy. We removed my brother from close to her, so I know my brother. But anyway.
Where do you go from here?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Literally?
To the hospital. Our younger son is in the hospital for a medical procedure. He's been there for a couple days. And so that was a delight. She got to leave the hospital, come straight here, and then go back to the hospital. But he'll be all right. It's just some things that are, I don't know how far to go into it, but I'm not going to. But just some medical issues, and he'll be okay in a couple of days. So, you asked.
I believe you said you didn't want this deal to be interpreted as mercy or forgiveness. So, you know, how does it feel with this ending?
Well, you know, we have to take our own personal things out of it and do what's, we really have to kind of take our own personal thoughts out of it and do what's best for the family, and really respect for my brother and his wife, and really take them into account. And you know, we're not hateful people by any means. It was a tragedy that no family should have to go through at all, and we just have to lean on our faith in God and to get us through those times, and just let justice take over.
Has there been any kind of quote or line that you guys tell each other to kind of get through the day?
Nothing in particular. I mean, it's morning. Got to go again. So, no, just try to stay positive.
Ashley's younger sister, Julie, she always referred to Ashley as Atchie. That was her nickname for her, and it always brings me back to just when we were kids growing up. And so I don't like to call her Ashley anymore. I call her what Julie calls her, just to remember those childlike memories and just her in the midst of growing up and her happiest moments.
try to make me look handsome when you.
I do want to just say on behalf of our family, we want to extend our thanks to the Benton County Sheriff's Office, all of the investigators, detectives, law enforcement who were involved and helped get this case solved rather quickly. A lot of families are not as fortunate, and we really want to extend our thanks to them. And of course, the prosecutor's office, Mr. Robinson and his victim advocates and his entire office, they have been honest and caring since day one and have always, as the young kids say, it kept it 100 with us and just told us straight like it is and prepared us for each and every step along the way. So we would just like to say thank you and extend our appreciation to them.
Anything else you guys would like to add that we didn't ask you?
Not that I can think of. I think I said everything. Just look out for yourselves and your kids. Just, be aware of your surroundings. So, and don't trust everybody on Facebook and Marketplace. It's not saying it's not a good thing, but just be careful.
Any final thoughts on what you would want Amber to know if she was watching this right now?
What?
I don't think you care about what she thinks.
The first thing that came to my mind was you lose. But I don't know if that's such a...
Do you have a preference of where she serves as? Whether federal prison or state prison?
Wherever it's worse. Whichever is least accommodating.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.